episode, which is our 11th episode. This is our 11th episode of the podcast. And I'm excited. I'm excited that I have been able to continue to to be consistent with the podcast in just this past month. I will that this consistency that I have, this drive that I have continues with the podcast. I've had so much fun just having a few guests on the podcast last month, or the last few episodes. And I'm just super excited for what I know this podcast could bring to the world. And so, I want to first ask, how y'all doing? Are you doing good? Are you feeling good? Is your body feeling good? Are you having good positive thoughts? And if you're not, what can we do to change that? Let that be the question that you ask yourself. If you're not feeling good, if your body doesn't feel good, your mood, your energy doesn't feel good, the thoughts that you're having towards yourself and towards others, or if they're not good thoughts, ask yourself, what can you do about that? What do you have? What is within your power to do to change those things? How have I been? I've been good. I've been really good. Just constantly just continuing to grow the business, as well as continue to do the podcast, all things mommy, all things wife. I've been good. I've been really, really good. Looking for some more guests for the podcast, which I'm super excited about that. Twisting Tyrese's. If you guys enjoyed Tyrese's episode as much as I did recording it, trust and believe I will have her back on the podcast. That episode was just nothing but belly laughs. And if anybody knows me, they know that the way to my heart for sure is if you can make me laugh. If you can make me laugh, even when I don't want to, then you're a keeper for sure. But what I wanted to do is talking about business, right? Briefly in the last episode that I had with Tyrese, I did mention how I'm working through uncertainty, right? Not working through uncertainty. Let me correct that. I'm working through not moving in fear when there is uncertainty in the path, right? And so in this episode, I kind of want to talk about that. I want to talk about how can we do that? Or my perspective and how we can do that. So just a little backstory. At the end of fiscal year 2023, the beginning of this fiscal year 2024, there was very much some uncertainty. There was uncertainty in what the future looked like for the business as far as where it was going to be located. There was uncertainty in the words and actions of people around me. There was just a whole bunch of uncertainty, and that uncertainty scared the shit out of me. It scared me so much because I pour my heart, my soul, everything that I have into this business, and I know that Arapel is very much needed in the community, and people are looking for the things that I'm providing, and then they come across oh my gosh, I had no idea you were here, oh, I'm so glad you're here. And for my people, my day ones that have been supporting Arapel Wellness from the very beginning, is oh, where are you going to be? Where are you going to be? How am I going to get in contact with you? How am I going to be able to get my herbs? All the things. And so a lot of people were oh, well, you can just ship online, which was a thought, right? And I do have the option to ship online, but especially what we went through in the past few years, where people have been isolated and people, haven't been able to really be around other people or come into contact with other people or to even be around people to ask questions. I think that taking away that aspect of my business would not have been good for me. It wouldn't have been good for the business, and it most definitely would have been good for the people that we serve, right? And so in that uncertainty and me trying to figure out what was going to be the next step for Arapel, I just had I just went through a roller coaster of emotions because, I want to still be here and still be present and be in the community. And I can do that without having an actual brick and mortar. But I know the significance. I know the importance of us having an actual brick and mortar. For people to come in, see all the herbs, see all the teas, ask all the questions. But there was a conversation that I had with my husband. Y'all know he my day one. He's just like, he is the one that really helps me to process a lot of things when I'm unable to do them alone or do them by myself. And so we had multiple conversations, and we talked about a lot with me going through all of the emotions that I went through when it came to us having to make certain choices and certain decisions and certain things falling through, certain things not happening, us getting excited because we thought we found a place, and then that being a disappointment because it fell through. And then what seems to be like at the breaking point, something finally came through and we were able to find a space, find a location that made sense for us moving forward. But the point that I want to get across is that the lesson that I learned in this roller coaster of emotions, in this fear of uncertainty, is that what is meant for me will always be for me, right? And we can't, and when I'm speaking, I'm saying this about me, and I'm also speaking to me, but I'm speaking to you too. We can't allow emotions to cloud our path. We can't let the heat of the moment to cloud our judgment or to completely erase everything that Spirit has done for us thus far. Most High has better plans than you could ever think of. Most High has already set it into motion. But sometimes in the heat of the moment, sometimes in those moments when we're just so unsure about what is going to happen because we can't see it, we start to doubt. We doubt ourselves. We doubt all the teachings and the learnings that we've learned about ourselves, about Spirit, about our connection to Spirit. Excuse me. We may even begin to doubt our willingness to do the things that we said that we want to do, the things that we have already manifested and are continuing to manifest. We begin to doubt. We begin to doubt how those things can come into fruition. And so I say don't allow your emotions to cloud your path or to cloud your judgment. And I will also say is like, which was a question that was asked to me or was said to me, is like how we move under pressure, how we respond to pressure, how we move through pressure and the things that we do in this life, in this space. That is what sets the tone or determine if we are about the business that we say we're about. That's what sets the tone for, oh, you say you know this, you say you believe in this, you know that you are this, then how come in this moment of uncertainty or and doubt, how can all of that go out the window? How can you just forget about all of that? How can you forget about all of the work that you've done to get to this point, to know and to confidently stand in who you are and your connection to the Most High? And then this one thing happens, and when you have what seems like at that moment feels like so much uncertainty in how your life is going to play out in the next few months. But don't you know that what you currently have is what you manifested? What you currently have and the life that you have and the way that you live, you brought that into fruition. And so everything after that and everything that you want to bring into fruition, you're going to be able to do that. So how do we stay firm in who we are in uncertainty? How do we push away the doubt when there is uncertainty? How do we do that? Well, first you do it by knowing who the hell you are. Knowing that you are an amazing being with amazing capabilities. And that knowing that alone, just knowing that, not believing, but knowing with every fiber of your being that you are that, and not allowing little bumps in the road to deter you from who you really are, that's going to keep you on the path. For that, even when there are uncertainties, you're going to be able to push through and go through. And in those moments of uncertainty, in those moments of not knowing for sure what the future holds, just know that as long as you stay firm in that, the Most High, Spirit, God, Allah, whoever you choose to pray to, your ancestors, your spirit guides, they got you. They all want to see you win and see you thrive and see you prosper and see you be your better, higher self. And so if you continue on the path and you know and you don't lose sight of who you are and the path that you're on, you're going to be able to do amazing things. Not just for yourself, for those around you. Just by you continuing on the path. And sometimes that can be hard, right? That can be hard when you're invested in something and you have all of, you work so hard for this thing, right? And then something happens and immediately your emotions kick in. And then you kind of get in like a fight or flight type state. And you're scrambling and you're heart full of it. You're just racing with emotions. But then what does that do? That clouds your judgment. That clouds the path. That kind of pulls you away from the point of the mission of what you're doing. And again, I'm not going to say that me getting through what I got through as far as, and I'm telling you, it was not even, I would say it was probably 3 or 4 months. And that's such a short amount of time. Short amount of time to allow my emotions to take over and cloud my judgment, cloud my thoughts of myself and what I'm doing. Just 4 short months. Now, if you are a person who you find yourself getting into that state when you're allowing your emotions to cloud your judgment, find your people. People that you trust, people that support you, people that are going to be in your ear negating and talking against all of those negative things that you seem to come up with to say to yourself because of your uncertainty. There was a moment when within those 4 months I was like, but maybe we should just sell everything we got. I'm not making no more products. Maybe, the Arapel's time has run its course. I was having those types of doubts. And then the building that I wanted to get, didn't get, fell through, and then I got something else. And even in my uncertainty, there were so many lessons that I learned. So many lessons that I learned. The first one being, what is meant for me will always be for me. There's nothing or no one that can take that. Nothing or no one. So I say that to you. What is meant for you is going to be for you. There's nothing or no one that can stop that. Two, I learned that what I do and what I provide and the connection that I have with people is meaningful. It's meaningful and it's needed. So I say to you, the things that you are doing when you're bringing in light into the world, positivities, good things to people and to other spaces, those things are needed. Don't allow the uncertainty to take that from you or from the people that need it. And I also learned that, so I wanted to get like a space, like an actual storefront. If you didn't know anybody but commercial rentals, stupid expensive, right? But I found this place that was just right. What I thought, right? I thought was just right. It was basically like a little mini storefront. The location, I wasn't too sure about the location, but the actual space was like, this is perfect, right? And it fell through. Didn't happen. Super disappointed. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to stop. I'm just going to stop looking. I'm going to stop searching because this is just annoying me. It's like we're coming a waste of time. Like, you know, things are just, I can't. But then Spirit came to me like, no, keep looking. I need you to keep looking. And so I kept looking. You know, I kept looking out, reaching out to people. And then I found a space, perfect amount of space that I need for what I'm doing. And I received the message that it doesn't have to be big to leave an impact. What you're doing does not have to be big to leave an impact. And when I'm thinking of that, I'm saying that now and I'm thinking about a pond, throwing a pebble in a lake or in a pond, right? Just dropping something so small as a pebble or a small rock into a lake or a pond can send ripples. Ripples through that lake or through that pond. And so the biggest lesson that I learned is that you don't have to, it doesn't have to be big to give impact. Spirit told me that I need you to start here where it's manageable. Because I'm doing it all myself. I do everything. I do everything within my business. I do myself. I make my products. I do my packaging. I do everything. I do ordering of inventory, pay taxes. Like I literally do everything. And so Spirit was like, I need you to start here. I need you to take these, what may seem like small steps, before we get to the big one. Because it's coming. I've seen it clear as day. It's coming. And so what I would say is that, again, what's meant for you will always be for you. The impact and the things that you provide when moving in the service of others is meaningful and it's needed. And you don't have to be big. It doesn't have to be something big and outlandish to make an impact on the world. Not even the world. It doesn't have to be big to make an impact on the 10 people around you. It doesn't have to be big to make an impact on your family. It doesn't have to be big to make an impact on your community. It just needs to be something. something good, something that's going to better the people, something that's going to bring substance, something that's going to help everybody thrive. Even in the uncertainty, there's lessons. So many lessons that can be learned. And just in 4 months, I learned those 3 lessons. In 4 months, I learned 3 lessons. And a couple of them I already knew. I already knew those lessons. I already knew that that's what it was. But sometimes we need to be reminded. And so Spirit is going to give us those reminders so we don't veer off of the path that we're supposed to be on, or that we said that we wanted to be on. And now getting through that, and I think that's one of the wonders of like going through something or getting through something, right? You get to look back on that and reflect and look at the lessons that you learned. Whether it was a good or a bad experience, you're able to look at the lessons that you learned from that experience, from that moment in time. Those are the nuggets that we keep with us. Those are the nuggets we should keep in our pockets and keep close to us. Because even in those times, and even in those moments, we're constantly learning lessons and being provided lessons. And if you forgot the ones that we learned through this experience, I'm going to say them to you one more time. What is meant for you will always be for you. There is nothing or no one that can take that away. When moving in service of others and providing good, providing light to the world, what you're doing is needed and wanted. Don't allow the small things or the small hiccups to take that from you. Always know that and stay firm in that. And 3, it does not have to be grand to have an effect. It's okay if you start with a small pebble when you throw it into the pond or to the lake and you see the ripples. That is okay. I will that this episode was able to feed your soul, to feed your spirit. I will that through my experiences, through my insight, my growth, through my fear of uncertainty, you are able to learn the same lessons that I learned. You are able to use this the next time you come against uncertainty in your life. Continue to move forward. And don't let the small moments, don't let these moments of uncertainty push you away from what you're supposed to be doing. When it comes to being of service of others, when it comes to giving light and hope and just bringing good into the world, because we need more of that. Have a beautiful day. I love you all. Until next time. Peace.